Hello. Welcome to the place where high achieving women redefine success, break free from limiting mindsets, and manifest their dream lives. If you've realized that something is missing despite your accomplishments and you're yearning for more joy, more ease, more fulfillment, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Latoya Davis, and this is the Aligned, Liberated, and Abundant Show. I'll share insights and strategies to help you identify and overcome limiting beliefs, societal programming, and energetic blockages that are holding you back from living an authentically abundant life. I take a holistic approach to personal growth, spiritual alignment, and practical wisdom. And I am so happy to welcome you to the very first episode of this podcast. I'm actually calling this episode 0 because it's more of an introduction to the podcast as opposed to a deep dive around the topics, right? This is just so you get to know what to expect, the format of the show, and you can be excited about the next episode. All right, so I created this podcast, one, because people kept saying you should have a podcast, right? So that's the first part. But really, the reason it took me so long to actually create a podcast was because I didn't just want to do something that is already out there, right? And I had a difficult time trying to figure out how to bring in all of the aspects of myself and those things that I'm really passionate about. And so ultimately, I landed on what is my biggest, what is the thing that I really want people to experience? And it is alignment, liberation, and abundance. And I recognize that for high achieving women, which I definitely consider myself to be, the people in my circle, right? Those people, we've achieved the accolades, we have the job titles, we have the successful business, all of the things, the college degrees, all of the things that we have been taught and conditioned make us successful and should make us happy, right? It's like we get those things and we're going through the list and we're checking them off, and internally we still feel that there is something more, that there is something that's missing, that there's a misalignment. And that's really what this podcast is about. This podcast is about being able to live that authentically aligned life, being able to live in your soul's purpose, and feeling liberated while you do it, right? So it's about exploring societal expectations and the beliefs that we hold that are keeping us back, right? Because when we're doing that, that is actually how we are not able to live an abundant lifestyle. All right, so during the course of our time together with our podcast, we will be looking at topics such as how to redefine success on your own terms, right? So this is, again, not that list that we talked about that we learned or has been ingrained in us since we were little, but really, what does success look, feel, and be like to you, right? What is embodied success to you? So looking at that, how to align the things that you're currently doing to actually have them in alignment with your soul's purpose, right? And I use the word purpose loosely today, and throughout the course of the podcast, we'll really dive into what I mean with soul's purpose. I'm huge on being clear on the terminology that we're using so that we all have a standard starting point, all right? We'll talk about strategies for achieving sustainable success, cultivating an abundance mindset, unlocking your true potential, embracing authentic leadership, integrating spirituality into your business, into your life, into your relationships. Just what does that look like? And transformational self-care practices that really are easy to integrate, right? I am team ease. I am team ease. I am team ease, right? So transformational practices that are easy, that have lasting and long-term effects. All right. And then really just about building a life that you're happy to live. All right. So those are the things, some of the things that we'll talk about during the podcast. I will have guests on the show who will share their stories, who will give tips from their perspective, and who will be able to be a valuable asset to you, because as one of my business coaches always says, I'm not the only genius in the room, right? And so there are many people who have figured out how to live this life of alignment, liberation, and abundance, and definitely will have them on to talk with you and share stories with you. All right. So last thing before I go, just want to kind of say, I mentioned before, part of the delay in me starting this podcast was about what am I going to do that's slightly different. And so this a podcast is really a holistic approach, right, of bringing the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the physical, bringing all of that into one kind of conversation, right? Really looking at again, the mind, looking at energy, looking at all of those things that are holding us back, and so bringing that together. And I'm excited. So I hope that you like, share, subscribe, join the mailing list so that you are always made aware of when new podcasts or new episodes will launch. There will be a blog post that goes with each of the podcasts. Each podcast will have practical strategies and tips that you can absolutely take. All right. So join me as we explore together what it truly means to be aligned, liberated, and abundant. Whether you are listening while you're commuting, working out, or just taking a moment for yourself, I want you to know that this is a safe space for you to explore, grow, and redefine what success means to you. All right. So I'm excited to embark on this journey with you. The next few episodes, I am going to break down what alignment is, what liberation is, and what abundance is as it relates to the context of this show. And as anything that I do, I'm always open to comments, suggestions, and feedback. So feel free to drop them. Thank you for being here. Remember, you are worthy of a life and a career, a family that lights you up from the inside out. Let's create that together. Until next time, stay aligned, liberated, and abundant. Peace.